Jennifer Lopez is not okay, and many people think she's going through a midlife crisis due to her behavior. First off, we have to talk about her Pride performance. Shocked fans when she hit the stage in dangerously high-cut bodysuits during her World Pride performance in Washington, D.C. Now, she shouldn't have been wearing something like that. It was way too risky, and she could have had a seriously bad wardrobe malfunction. What she was thinking when wearing this, we have no idea, but people online have called it inappropriate and say that she's too old to be dressing that way. Honestly though, I don't think anyone should be wearing an outfit like that. Fans made comments about the outfits online, and one person said, "I admire what great shape she's in, but time to stop trying to be a young pop star." One user wrote of a TikTok video featuring her performance. Now another question, why do artists feel like they need to dress like this? The dress code needs to stop. And a third added, "I'm embarrassed for her. My toes are fully clenched." Yikes. J-Lo seemed to not care though. Per Out magazine, Lopez stopped to thank her queer fans amid her performance. "Over the years, your love and your support have been a source of strength for me, and today I am here to celebrate you," she said to the crowd. "I'm so happy to be able to be here and celebrate community, diversity, love, and freedom." Then after her performance, she posted photos on Instagram where she captioned them, "Major shout out to @theblondesNY for slaying my sparkly World Pride stage looks, and to @FashionByRayoritz for that fierce black catsuit moment." If she saw any of the backlash, she definitely didn't care. J-Lo first hosted the award show in 2005, so this wasn't completely new to her. Unfortunately for her though, the 2025 AMAs was branded as the worst AMAs in the awards ceremony, the 51-year-old's history by many viewers. Now, why may you ask? Well, there were hardly any A-list celebrities there. A lot of the key performances were actually pre-recorded and not live, and there was a ton of drama about who won what awards. Now, overall, the night was just messy, and having J-Lo's name attached to it definitely was not a good thing. Not to mention, J-Lo embarrassed herself in her performance when she opened the show with a medley of the most popular songs of the year. Many people felt the performances, fell flat, while others thought it was a desperate attempt to get attention. For example, during the performance, J-Lo kissed a male dancer. Okay, whatever, but then she went and kissed a female dancer. Many people thought this was an attempt to draw more attention to J-Lo, bring shock value to her set, but a lot of people online ended up just making fun of the star and straight up just didn't care about what happened. It just wasn't a good look and made J-Lo look even more pathetic. Then after the show, J-Lo made everything about her as she announced her new Las Vegas residency. Yep, it seems like her hosting the show was just a setup for her to promote herself, since she had to cancel her last tour, a tour which, by the way, had very poor ticket sales. It seems like J-Lo is doing all she can these days to get the attention on her, but the truth is, it's actually making people just feel bad for her and wondering if she's truly okay.
Jennifer Lopez, a global pop icon and seasoned performer, turned an unexpected onstage horror into a moment of show-stopping charisma when a grasshopper made a surprise appearance during her recent concert. What could have been a distraction became a testament to Lopez's composure, humor, and the immense experience she's amassed over a storied career that continues to awe millions across the globe. It happened partway through her show at Central Stadium in Almaty, Kazakhstan, as Lopez powered her way through a hit-packed set on her Up All Night tour. Fans watched in a mix of shock and amusement as a grasshopper landed on Lopez's neck and began its unscripted journey up the strap of her glamorous stage outfit. The singer, famed for her electrifying stage presence, smiled, kept singing, and barely missed a beat, even as the green interloper stole a few moments in the spotlight. A split-second nervous grin was all the audience saw before she flicked the grasshopper away and quipped, "It was tickling me." The stadium erupted in applause, and Lopez let them in on the joke. Her playful attitude set social media abuzz, with fans and press alike celebrating her effortless ability to keep the show going no matter what. This episode is just the latest example of Lopez's unrivaled professionalism and grace under pressure. For decades, Jenny from the Block has captivated audiences, not just with chart-topping hits and dazzling choreography, but with a warmth and authenticity that makes even mishaps part of the magic. Lopez has always transformed the unexpected into unforgettable moments. Her willingness to laugh, adapt, and connect with the crowd are part of what has sustained her multi-decade career, whether she's headlining stadium tours, starring in Hollywood films, or lighting up the Las Vegas stage. The grasshopper cameo came same as Lopez's Up All Night Live in 2025 tour needed its grand finale. The tour has seen her bring hits to adoring fans from Spain to Kazakhstan, with every show a display of athletic choreography, powerhouse vocals, and a true star's magnetism. In each city and beyond, she's proven time and time again why she remains one of the world's most watchable performers. After wrapping up this successful leg, Lopez is set to take a well-earned rest with her family before launching a Las Vegas residency. Residency format blending spectacle and intimacy is perfectly suited to her artistry, a blend of blockbuster energy and personal connection that few can match. While the stage is Jennifer Lopez's first love, her creative ambition extends far beyond. In film, she recently produced and starred in the romantic comedy Office Romance for Netflix, and has signed on for several more major projects, including a highly anticipated role in The Last Mrs. Parrish and the genre-bending musical Kiss of the Spider-Woman. Lopez's ability to juggle music, film, business ventures, and motherhood speaks to a relentless work ethic and passion for storytelling. Even as she navigated personal challenges, canceling a major tour last year to focus on her family and children, her commitment to her fans and her craft has never wavered. In the end, the grasshopper incident is emblematic not of disaster, but of Jennifer Lopez's extraordinary positivity, resilience, laughter, and showmanship. She has faced every twist in her career, on stage and off, with spark and determination, inspiring countless aspiring performers to follow her example. With a sense of humor, iconic talent, and a legacy that grows with every show, Jennifer Lopez proves that no matter what life throws, be it Spotlight or Grasshopper, she's always ready for the next act.
Jennifer Lopez suffered a major embarrassing wardrobe malfunction on stage recently, as the skirt she was wearing fell off. Yes, JLo was in the middle of a wardrobe change when she was called back out on the stage so the crowd could sing happy birthday to her. She was wearing a gold sequin triangle bikini top and fiddling with her gold fringe skirt when she came out on stage. Now, a backup dancer got behind her to attach it, and it seemed to work for a couple of seconds at least. But as she walked across the stage to thank her fans, the skirt fell and dropped to the floor. Now, JLo looked shocked for a second, but then she remembered who she was and started posing and strutting her stuff. Now, she tried to attach the skirt again with the help of a dancer as her crew broke into the Stevie Wonder hit Happy Birthday. As the song ended, the skirt still wasn't working properly, so JLo threw it into the crowd. "I'm glad they reinforced that costume," she said, following it up by saying, "I'm glad I had underwear on," adding, "I usually don't wear underwear." Now, she also told the person who caught the skirt, "You can keep it, I don't want it back." And wow, isn't that a pretty cool souvenir to get? Now, fans praised the singer for her reaction. Unstoppable force, happy birthday icon, wrote one person on social media, and then using some of JLo's own words to describe the situation. One of my favorite quotes from JLo is, "Failure isn't falling down flat on your face, failure is stopping." Fantastic, thank you for the surprise, wrote another. Now, this is just one of the most recent viral moments on her tour. Now, it's been reported that JLo has split from her record label. She's now said to be an independent artist, releasing her new song Birthday through a smaller company. Her 2024 album, This Is Me Now, was released under BMG, and it's been reported that the deal was only for one album, and following disappointing sales, both parties agreed to go their separate ways. A music insider said, "Jennifer's obviously massively successful and talented, but it's been hard for her to find a label who she's on the same page with. After her last album came out, it was decided she wouldn't continue with BMG as it wasn't the success she wanted. It only went number 55 in the UK, but her team wants to push forward with new music. She spent a lot of time in the studio this year." Now, JLo has had some controversies recently though, as many people are claiming that her costumes and dance moves on her most recent tour are too provocative. She's been wearing barely their costumes, which have made people feel uncomfortable. And then there's the dance moves. At one point in the show, JLo sings on all fours in front of one shirtless dancer, before another lifts her off her feet and she sits on his shoulder with her crotch in his face. Another moment saw her straddling one dancer while placing her hands between the legs of another two. These moves have caused a lot of outrage online, but it seems like JLo doesn't really care.
Jennifer Lopez is humiliating herself yet again, but it keeps getting worse. Jennifer Lopez is back in the headlines again, and not for the reasons she'd probably hoped. At 56 years old, the superstar is currently on tour celebrating her birthday and her decades-long career, but instead of applause, she's getting roasted. And not in the fun Comedy Central way. Let's talk about that moment first, when JLo decided to stop mid-performance to announce to her audience that she has, well, intimate encounters with men. She announced this out loud, proud, and just baffling. I mean, the crowd was audibly confused, like, okay, thank you for that, Jen. It was honestly the kind of awkward overshare that made you want to clutch your pearls and just check if someone's aunt accidentally wandered on stage. Fans were quick to call it desperate, saying it felt less like female empowerment and more like someone trying just way too hard to be shocking in a world that's already seen it all. And then there's the dance routine that's now circulating online, because of course it is. In this viral moment, Jennifer performed an extremely graphic routine, simulating various inappropriate positions while her dancers surrounded her on stage. Look, JLo has always been known for her confidence and sensuality, but this wasn't a hot comeback. It was giving high school talent show if the theme was like trying to be edgy for attention. Even her most loyal fans were confused. Comments rolled in, saying things like, "This isn't art, it's awkward. And why is she grinding the floor like she lost a contact lens?" Even Megyn Kelly jumped in to tear her apart, of course, comparing her act to softcore POR. You know what I'm saying and where I'm going with that. So yeah, and questioning, why a woman of JLo's caliber with her decades of success feels the need to go this far to stay relevant. Kelly said it bluntly. She's humiliating herself. And to be fair, it's not entirely wrong. JLo has built an empire off talent, discipline, and image control. So watching her crawl across a stage like a college freshman at her first frat party feels off-brand at best and cringe at worst. Now, the Daily Mail covered her 56th birthday show, calling it a celebration of her life and body, but even their coverage read like a polite family member trying to support your bad decisions with a forced smile. The performance wasn't about vocals, it wasn't about dance precision, it was about JLo proving yet again that she's still that girl. But instead of, slaying, she slid straight into secondhand embarrassment territory. I mean, the irony, this tour is titled "This Is Me Now," as in this is the evolved, present-day version of Jennifer Lopez. But if this is the new her, it's looking like the old her might have been better at reading the room, because while she's out here serving still hot, and I'll prove it, the public is quietly saying, "We know, girl, but we don't need a live demo." And don't get it twisted, this isn't about ageism. Madonna, Cher, Tina Turner, plenty of icons have kept it hot, fierce, and fabulous well into their later years, but what makes them stand out is that they know how to evolve with their audience, not against them. JLo's recent performances are starting to feel, less like a celebration of her legacy and just more like a panic response to dwindling attention. In a social media age where, virality is currency, Jennifer's kind of leaning hard into shock value, but at what cost? I mean, she's losing the mystique, the elegance, the cool girl confidence that made her a global icon. Instead of reinventing herself, she's chasing clicks, and honestly, it's getting a little painful to watch. So yes, Jennifer Lopez, has humiliated herself again, and unfortunately this time it's even worse than the last. But it doesn't just look desperate, it looks like she's forgotten who she really is.
Now, first up, we have to talk about her music theft. It's no secret that Jennifer Lopez has been accused of stealing or borrowing background tracks and vocals from other artists for years. Now, one of the stars who accused her of doing this was Usher in 2005. He claimed that she stole a song that he cast aside while recording his hugely successful album called Confessions. Usher claimed that JLo's single Get Right is actually a re-recorded version of Ride, a song that he co-wrote the year before, which was only available online. He said, quote, "I hate it, but I'd better be getting some of the publishing rights or else. I didn't put it on my album because I couldn't get it right, but I didn't expect JLo to just take it." And apart from being accused of stealing the same sample song that Mariah Carey used for Loverboy, JLo was also given songs that were initially intended for a shanty, which is why a lot of people claim what happened between the two artists was straight up music theft. In September 2001, Lopez released I'm Real from her second studio studio album, J-Lo, that she worked with Yves Gotti. But this song was already recorded and mixed with Ashanti's vocals, which is why you still hear her in the background vocals in Lopez's version. Moving on to the embarrassing feud with her makeup artist. Scott Barnes, who's worked for J-Lo for the last 20 years, has had to deal with so much of her crazy hot and cold behavior. In the mid-2000s, she essentially banished him after rumors surfaced that someone had leaked info to the press about her and Marc Anthony's secret marriage ceremony. Speaking on the Jeff Probst show in 2012, and when asked about how J-Lo treated him, Scott said, "It was like I had the plague." Interesting enough, eventually she ended up giving him his old job back after learning the truth, but apparently failed to apologize for being so cold and ruthless towards him. I mean, she literally cut him off without a word and blamed him for the leak without even confronting him. Barnes went on to say, "I went right back to work with her and we never spoke about it again, which is even weirder." Now the funny thing is, her celebrity makeup artist would go on to work with her for another 6 years and insisted that they remained on good terms despite the fact that she ghosted him and didn't even apologize. Next we have sharing the stage. J-Lo didn't hold back when it came to her opinion on sharing the stage with Shakira at the 2020 Super Bowl halftime show. In her newly released documentary called Halftime, she labeled it as the worst idea in the world. "If I was going to be a double headliner, they should have given us 20 minutes, that's what they should have effing done," she said. Basically, it turns out that Jennifer was frustrated with the FNL for booking 2 headliners and making them share the same amount of time that any solo performer would receive, as opposed to doubling it and giving the women extra time to shine. As a result, fans slammed the artist for coming off as entitled. While it's true that they only gave the performers 6 minutes each, the action-packed show garnered immense praise from fans across the globe, with many fans commending the woman for showcasing their Latin heritage so brilliantly. What J-Lo was really mad about though is that previous solo headliners like Beyonce and The Weeknd received 14 minutes to perform. But judging by her complaints, it's clear that she feels offended that they even asked her to share the stage at all. Next we have the cheating allegations. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have had an on and off again romance that has been going on since the 2000s, with fans even nicknaming the couple Benifer. Now I mean, these two just got married after they first got engaged nearly 2 decades ago. But the timeline of their relationship is a huge red flag and include alleged cheating. So in July of 2022, Lopez filed for divorce from her second husband, Chris Judd, citing irreconcilable differences. But this news broke just months after Lopez had wrapped the movie Gilgy along her then boyfriend Ben. Even though she vehemently denied cheating rumors, Ben took out an ad in The Hollywood Reporter gushing about Lopez before her divorce wasn't yet finalized. In fact, even Chris Judd's father, Larry, spoke out against the couple and accusing J-Lo of being unfaithful to his son. He insinuated that the affair started during the filming of Gilgy. Quote, "I thought Mr. Affleck would honor a married woman and not just go right into the trailer," and added that she'd be happier if she'd just tell the truth and no one in her little circle is going to say one negative thing about her. But we'll never really know the truth of what happened. Now this brings us to our next point, the Marc Anthony romance. Celebrity gossip magazines could not get enough of the power couple in the early 2000s. They were absolutely everywhere and it seems like fans loved the pairing. But their beginnings as a couple were super questionable to say the least. Anthony married former Miss Universe Dayanara Torres in 2000 while Lopez was dating Ben Affleck around the same time. But the on-again off-again couple picked their romance back up when Anthony was still married to Dayanara. So less than a week after Anthony's divorce was finalized, the couple surprised fans by getting married in a small casual ceremony in her Beverly Hills home in early June. It really begs the question of whether or not J-Lo was some kind of homewrecker, because the timeline of the rekindled relationship seems really off. I mean, he actually broke Dayanara's heart, as she said, "You go through hell. I cried until there were no tears left, until I was numb. I didn't want to eat, I didn't care to get dressed or take a shower, I just wanted to lie there." Now Anthony's feelings for Jennifer might have been there all along because the two had a history, but he should have put more thought into who he chose to marry in the first place, so in a way they're both at fault. And now let's talk about the insensitive comments. So to give some background on why everyone felt that JLo was trashing belly dancing. A part of the 2020 Super Bowl performance featured young dancers sitting in glowing cages, which many people assumed represent the immigrant children in cages at the US border. But JLo apparently had a hard time convincing the NFL to do this and said, "I'm trying to give you something with substance, not just us out there shaking our effing asses and effing belly dancing." She went on to say that she wanted something real, something that's gonna make a statement, something that's gonna say we belong here and we have something to offer. Now, if you're confused as to why this was controversial, it's essentially because she compared the art of belly dancing to just shaking your butt for the hell of it. In fact, that particular line was shared across Twitter and people were big mad. It was just a little culturally insensitive to say, considering that the dance has long been associated with Middle Eastern cultures, and that's something that Shakira has become known for, using it to channel her father's Lebanese, Syrian, Arab roots. Next up we have avoiding the Bronx. This one train wreck of an ad campaign led to people openly mocking both Chrysler and Jennifer Lopez. Now the central premise of the ad was that sometimes JLo will drive through her old hood in the South Bronx in a Fiat 500 just to stay inspired. Although it sounds ridiculous, the marketing campaign obviously tried to draw on the singer's famous Jenny from the Block era. Most people recognize the song, in which she pays tribute to growing up in the Bronx, which has been a solid part of her image since the 90s. In fact, the singer even titled her debut album On the 6, which is a clear reference to the New York subway train. Now, a press release at the time stated that she'd be traveling through the streets of Manhattan to the Bronx where she grew up. But the ad backfired when the Smoking Gun reported that Lopez never actually went to the Bronx to film the ad, and that a body double stand-in and was used instead, calling it, quote, "It is such a breathtaking assemblage of hoary urban cliches," and that was putting it lightly. Next we have the movie line interview. The infamous movie line interview in 1998 that could have almost ruined JLo's career was truly worse than you can imagine. She was 27 at the time and fresh off the success of her film Selena. Now she basically decided to trash all other celebrities that were big at the time and try to trivialize their career and contribution to the industry. In fact, when asked about Madonna, she actually said, "Do I think she's a great performer? Yeah. Do I think she's a great actress? No. Acting is what I do, so I'm harder on people when they say, oh, I can do that, I can act. I'm like, hey, don't spit on my craft." Now, this is so ironic because JLo would go on to do both music and acting for the rest of her career, and critics also trashed her acting on the big screen. Also, at the time, Madonna had been a star for longer than JLo, so there was really no comparison there. And when Gwyneth Paltrow was brought up, Jennifer almost seemed to laugh and made it clear that she didn't take her fellow actress's career seriously, saying, "Tell me what she's been in, I swear to God, I don't remember anything she was in." Some people get hot by association. I heard more about her and Brad Pitt than I ever heard about her work. Yikes. Moving on to the accusations of racism. 20 years ago, Lopez was approaching a full actualization as an entertainer, but a single from her second album, JLo, almost derailed her career entirely. The Murder Inc. remix of I'm Real, which features Ja Rule and owned the radio in 2001, was ruined by the N-word she drops in her final verse. Now the issue was that the song was an instant hit, so much that 10 years later in 2011, Billboard gave it the 6th spot on its 40 biggest debuts of all time list. But rightfully so, people were outraged by her use of the loaded term. Not only because she's a Latina artist, but at her level of success where she has a platform and sets an example to young fans, using such a derogatory word is at best offensive. But as the accusations of racism started to mount against the star, she eventually spoke out to defend her actions on the Today Show. For anyone to think or suggest that I'm racist is really absurd and hateful to me. Although many people think this is not an excuse, it was later revealed that the track was actually written by Ja Rule himself, and he encouraged her to say it. And lastly, we need to talk about the awful reasons she had a maid fired. Now this one is really indefensible. Jennifer Lopez allegedly got a German hotel maid fired for asking for an autograph. Prey Doja was a staff member at the luxury Melia Hotel in Dusseldorf, Germany during Lopez's stay in 2012. She was a big fan of JLo and worked up the courage to knock on the star's hotel door to ask for an autograph and was promptly turned away. Prey claims that she was relieved from her post the day after the incident. She told The Sun, "I am an incredibly big fan, so I took all of my courage and rang the doorbell to get an autograph, but I was rejected by 2 assistants at the door. A day later, the cleaning company that employed me at the hotel called and said that Miss Lopez had complained. I was fired right there on the phone." If the incident really happened, it's hard to ignore the irony when you remember that Jennifer played a hotel maid in the movie Made in Manhattan. Now, after receiving a rightful amount of backlash, the pop star wrote on Twitter, "Come on, thought you knew me better than this. Would never get anyone fired over an autograph. First I've heard of this was on Twitter, #hurtful."
JLo is being slammed online for her behavior in an interview on the Met Gala steps. JLo was a co-chair for the 2024 Met Gala and wore an eye-catching beaded Schiaparelli gown to the charity event. She was seen smiling and posing on the carpet, but not everyone received that megawatt smile. TikToker Annika Reed was present at the Met as an interviewer on the side. She was up close and personal with the stars and got some great shots of the celebs as they ascended the carpet. She was also close enough to ask celebs questions as they were heading up. And it seems not everyone was happy about that. As JLo was making her way past Reed, Reed shouted, "Who are you wearing tonight?" Pretty standard red carpet question, but JLo appeared less than impressed. With only a glance over, JLo responds with a quick Schiaparelli before continuing up. When Reed posted the video to her TikTok, the caption suggests she didn't mind JLo's response, but the comment section sure did. Many people calling JLo out for being rude. One person saying Reed receiving a rude JLo interaction was the JLo experience. Another person writing, "Ew, why she have that attitude?" In comparison to other celebs who met Reed's questions with big smiles and the occasional full-length interview, JLo's reaction does make her appear as the outlier. The Met Gala isn't the first major event where JLo was criticized for her actions on the carpet. Glam bots have increased in popularity over the years for good reason. They are the perfect way to showcase a celeb's look and almost always make people look amazing. A glam bot of JLo was posted for her birthday in 2022, but the video did not garner the response the poster probably hoped for. In the video, we can see Cole, the person who runs the glam bot, explaining to Jennifer as she walks up what is going to happen with the camera, just how it all works basically. Jennifer appears to be uninterested in what he's saying or distracted from other people talking about red carpets. We know that they are pretty fast paced, kind of like go go go, so maybe JLo really had somewhere to be or there was a big lineup so she was trying to keep a schedule. We never will know. The ending of the video does not paint her in the best light. As part of her glam bot, the singer's movements involved taking a step to the side, and then that step turned into her walking off. It's not shown if she said goodbye to Cole or anyone else working on the glam bots, but it doesn't appear that way. So naturally, people are pretty upset about it and leaving their thoughts in the comment section. One person writing, "She doesn't look very friendly." Another commenting, "Not her," immediately walking away. Cole did film a glam bot behind the scenes for this particular video, where he explained the situation, saying they had very limited time, about 30 seconds, and he wasn't expecting to see JLo, so it was an in and out kind of situation. Back in October of 2023, JLo was photographed throwing up a rude gesture to paparazzi. The singer was photographed out with her husband Ben Affleck in the morning, and she was not very happy about it. Like many people online said though, can you blame her? She just wanted to head out for a quick breakfast with her husband and was instead hounded by cameras. Expressing her frustration, JLo threw up her middle finger at the paparazzi with a tight-lipped half smile. The photo went viral online and the response was half and half. Some people said she was being rude and the behavior was unacceptable. Others were more forgiving towards the star, bringing up that even Hollywood stars deserve privacy and are real people too. It's unclear if JLo was prompted to do the action just because of the situation, or if something happened or was said to cause it. Jennifer Lopez attended the Grammys with new husband Ben Affleck in 2023, and the two were caught on camera looking less than pleased with each other. The X account Chicks in the Office posted a video of the couple with the caption, "Someone please check on Ben Affleck." The video posted was about 30 seconds and it features host Trevor Noah sitting beside the couple. Since he was seated directly next to them and talking, the couple either didn't realize the camera was on them or the moment was a very believable bit. In the clip, you can see JLo speaking to Affleck in what looks like it could be a stern tone. As the camera gets closer, JLo lightly hits Affleck's chest before giving him a displeased look and turning away looking frustrated. Affleck also is looking a bit disgruntled for the remainder of the video. Once Jennifer does turn around and realize where the camera is, she starts laughing and smiling again. Ben offers a little half smile but mainly keeps a straight face. choice. Interesting video of JLo seemingly flirting has made the rounds on social media. The video is weird, I don't know how else to put it. It's a heavily slowed down shot of JLo making a funny face towards someone behind her. The camera pans to someone who looks like a DJ. There are over 25,000 comments on the video and lots of them are saying JLo is flirting with the person. One person writing, "So disrespectful, poor Ben." The video was posted in May of last year and people are also up in arms about this video since JLo is standing directly beside her future husband Ben Affleck. Other angles of the moment show JLo jamming out to the music. Even Ben offered a little shuffle and that's when JLo looked the DJ's way. The clip is from the premiere of JLo's 2023 movie The Mother. JLo went viral when on-set footage resurfaced of her spitting gum into an assistant's hand. The video was taken about 6 years ago now, and yet it still causes a stir every once in a while. Reposted all across the internet, the 20-second video shows JLo, presumably on the set of a TV or film. I'm guessing that the cameras are about to roll, but JLo is chewing gum, the method of choice chosen to get rid of that gum, and the situation appears to be spitting it directly in someone's hand. After the video went viral, again, people started pointing out that they are on a street and a major movie set. A trash can has to be nearby, or at least a tissue. Some people have commented on the clip when it was posted to a TikTok page, pointing out that JLo has a purse in her hand. Were there no tissues in there? People are just generally upset and mildly disgusted by the action. One person commenting, "I have never been in a situation where I felt the need to spit anything into someone's hand. I would swallow the gum before I would do something so disgusting." Those arguing in favor of JLo have brought up that the behavior is common on film sets, but the biggest player coming to JLo's defense in the situation is actually the assistant in the video. She took to her ex social media account to set the record straight. She clarified that there was a tissue in her hand and she requested that JLo spit the gum in her hand. She also said that there were large crowds present and it was winter and they were waiting for a light to change so that they could film, so there were a lot of factors that made the situation one where they had to move quickly. The assistant noted that spitting the gum in her hand was the most efficient solution at the time. Much to the displeasure of the star, the paparazzi can't seem to get enough of JLo. A video of Jennifer interacting with paparazzi was posted to TikTok in November of 2023, and like most of the other ones, she is not happy to be there. At the start of this video, we can hear the pop in question congratulate her and Ben. From that, and when this video was posted, I'm assuming the congratulations were about the pair's wedding a few months prior. Though the pop is trying to speak positively, JLo is still quite upset being followed around. As she is getting into her car, we can hear JLo say something along the lines of, "Nobody likes leaving their house and having you guys follow them every single day," finishing off her statement with a final, "Nobody likes that," as she continues getting in her car. The paparazzi filming can be heard saying, "I understand, Jennifer, I get you," as they continue to get closer to the star. Other footage released of the encounter shows an annoyed-looking JLo and Ben. The spotlight was stolen by a couple's argument at the premiere of JLo's 2023 movie, The Mother. JLo and her future husband Ben Affleck were photographed and filmed on the red carpet, and they did not seem overjoyed to be there. The pair appeared to be arguing with each other on the carpet. It's unclear what about. It could be something serious or something simple, like where they're going to stand next. They were pointing somewhere in the distance, so maybe they were debating whether or not to go inside. Regardless, the two look like they are exchanging heated words in front of the camera. The clip ends with Affleck moving off screen, likely giving JLo her moment with the cameras, as it was her movie after all. This clip is from the same premiere that the flirting clip was from. Paparazzi caught JLo after she was locked out of her gym, and the star was not happy about it, directing the F-bomb their way before she left in her car. In a clip posted to Daily Mail's TikTok, the Jenny from the Block singer can be seen running to her upscale gym's front door in bright neon yellow workout clothes. Only when she gets there, she is left waiting outside, the door is locked, and no one is coming to answer. I mean, this would be frustrating for anyone, but the star also has all the cameras watching her to deal with. Naturally, she grows aggravated and gives up the wait, getting back into her car. The pops get a bit closer to the star as she's trying to enter the car. You can hear the star tell them to go away. JLo leaves the pops with an "F you, bye." The video ends before we can see her car drive off. A clip from JLo's new documentary of the singer talking about award-winning dancer and choreographer Derek Hough went viral online because it appears that JLo is trying trying to move his wedding plans around to accommodate her movie. That sounds really bad, but that is absolutely what it looks like from the short clip. JLo is seen talking with people on her team. It looks like she is looking for someone to either choreograph or be in the movie, and she wants a good dancer. Professional dancer and Dancing with the Stars performer Val is brought up as a choice, but JLo isn't feeling it. She very clearly wants Derek. She says, "I mean, I know Val is available, but I want you to call Derek." She then goes on to say that she only needs him for 1 or 2 days. But as a member of her team quickly points out, he was busy because he was in a wedding. It was revealed by Derek at the premiere that it wasn't just any wedding, it was his wedding. Well, he revealed he received a call from JLo in the middle of planning his wedding, so people connected the dots from there. In the clip that went viral, JLo is unyielding and insists that Derek be called anyway. After the movie came out, Derek joined E! News for an interview where he clarified that JLo did not make him change his schedule. She flipped her schedule around for him. He also went on to say that JLo provided guidance and help while he was planning his wedding.
Now, starting off, we have her new album flopping. Now, in its first week, Jennifer Lopez's new album, This Is Me Now, debuted on the Billboard 200 at the number 38 spot before dropping off the chart altogether. Now, this was definitely not what she was hoping for with this album. JLo's devastated the album. Her first in nearly a decade did so poorly. She's never experienced this kind of failure. It's humiliating, a source exclusively told In Touch. She poured her heart and soul into this project. It was a huge undertaking. Jennifer released the album in February as a sequel to her 2002 record This Is Me Then, which was written amid her and Ben Affleck's first engagement. Although the two eventually split in January 2004 and went on to marry other people, they reconciled nearly 20 years later in 2021. Ben proposed in March 2022 and the couple tied the knot that summer. Ben was her muse for both of these projects. Next is that she treats her employees badly. According to several of JLo's former staff members, Jennifer earned herself the nickname Paylow because she paid her staff around 50% less than they could make elsewhere, which is crazy because her current net worth is $400 million. But because she had to work hard for her money, she believed that others should work hard too. Now, an incident related to this happened in 2003. Jennifer was spotted in Vegas with her then boyfriend Ben Affleck, and the pair had a big win, and Ben decided to drop a $2,000 tip to the dealer. But before the dealer could scoop up the generous reward, JLo snatched up the cash and swapped it for $200 instead, which is just rude and was not her call. Then she got a maid fired. In 2002, Jennifer starred in the romantic comedy Made in Manhattan. She went all over the world promoting the romantic comedy, and when she landed in London, she had people talking about her demands. When promoting the movie, she had a very interesting encounter with hotel staff, as she stayed at the Metropolitan Hotel and showed her early signs of being a diva. The hotel staff was amazed by her lavish and extravagant demands, as it was something they'd never seen before. Apparently, she requested the hotel staff to provide her with thousands of pounds of lemon-scented candles. Not to mention, she only travels in style when it's a short distance. She had 7 limousines escort her to lunch at the Dorchester, only 200 yards away. And then in 2012, it was reported that she had a maid fired from her job, although she repeatedly denies it. Jennifer was staying at the Melia Dusseldorf in Germany, and a maid working at the hotel Prey Doja approached the diva's room to get an autograph. Now, she spoke with JLo's assistant, who denied her, and the next morning Prey was fired. She said, "A day later, the cleaning company that employed me at the hotel called and said that Miss Lopez had complained. I was fired right there on the phone because of an autograph." Now, Jennifer and the hotel deny that she was fired for that specific reason, as JLo called the story hurtful, but who knows. Now we have her performance demands. In 2013, JLo was set to perform at the opening ceremony of the Indian Premier Cricket League. Now, the event is often compared to the Super Bowl and has quite a large audience. The year before, 56 million viewers tuned in to watch Katy Perry perform, and it was estimated that J-Lo would get an audience close to 60 million. However, her demands essentially cost her the event. She asked for a large number of hotel rooms for her massive entourage, which included her personal chef and stylist. Now, she also demanded a private plane, and in the end, organizers rejected her requests and instead brought in Pitbull to replace her, as it would cost them less money. Now, I'm sure she thought she was irreplaceable, but she wasn't. Now, you'd think she'd learn her lesson to not ask for so much after that encounter, but I'm sure she continued on with those demands. Speaking of, let's talk about the demands for American Idol. Listen up, everyone. J-Lo does not come at a cheap price. You want her as an American Idol judge, then you have to pay her $20 million, and that's per season. Yep. It turns out that the pay for sitting in a chair and judging people isn't all that bad, as in 2011, J-Lo was paid approximately $12 million to replace Simon Cowell on American Idol. Time reports that J-Lo's American Idol salaries have ranged from $12 to $20 million. While Jen's presence has been credited for rejuvenating the show, the price tag remains shocking. And now that Katy Perry has left the show, there is rumors about J-Lo replacing her, but again, that will come at a huge price. Then there's her canceled tour. On May 31st, it was announced that Jennifer's This Is Me Live summer tour was cancelled. Live Nation confirmed the cancellation to the Associated Press, stating Jennifer is taking time off to be with her children, family, and close friends. In addition, Jennifer released a statement of her own on her On the J-Lo website, explaining the reason behind the cancellation. She wrote, "I'm completely heartsick and devastated about letting you down. Please know that I wouldn't do this if I didn't feel it was absolutely necessary." She added, "I promise I'll make it up to you and we will all be together again. I love you all so much. Until next time." The This Is Me Live tour would have been Jennifer's first in 5 years. It was going to be in support of her first solo album in 10 years, This Is Me Now, and its companion film. Now, rumor has it that poor ticket sales and an impending breakup with her husband of 2 years, Ben Affleck, might have contributed to the tour's cancellation, and this would explain why she needed to spend time with her loved ones. Moving on to lying about plastic surgery. Jennifer has been accused of getting plastic surgery many times, but each time she denies it. In 2013, when a UK-based plastic surgeon analyzed pictures of her on Twitter, he claimed that they showed signs of cosmetic work, and she hit back adding him, saying, "Sorry sir, but I've never had plastic surgery of any kind, #fact," she tweeted. Then on January 15th, 2021, Jennifer posted a video on her Instagram revealing the results of that limitless glow sheet mask from her new beauty line. A fan took to the comments to accuse the singer-actress of achieving her ageless look with something more than a mask, saying, "You definitely had Botox and tons of it, and it's all good, just saying." Now, Jennifer commented back and said, "LOL, that's just my face. For the 500 millionth time, I've never done Botox or any other injectables or surgery. Just saying, get yourself some J-Lo beauty and feel beautiful in your skin." And here's another J-Lo beauty secret: try spending your time being more positive, kind, and uplifting to others. Don't spend your time trying to bring others down. That will keep you youthful and beautiful too. Now we have the self-financed movie. Now, after her album This Is Me Now, Jennifer created her own movie based on the album called This Is Me Now, A Love Story. According to a Variety interview, the album, film, and accompanying documentary cost $20 million in total to produce. Now, once it was done, Amazon then purchased the project. "We went in over budget. It was a challenging project in that way. It's like there could have never been enough money for the project," she told The Hollywood Reporter. "We didn't have endless funds from a studio. This was a very independent project that I was self-financing, so it was very challenging periodically. Everyone thought I was crazy when I said I would self-fund the film. We did have financing, and then that fell out," she revealed. "They pulled out at the last minute, and then it was that moment where you go, okay, do we just make a video or do we go ahead and do this thing?" Now, she went ahead with it, but it wasn't really the best idea. Next, we have her Mariah feud. The Jennifer-Mariah feud has played out since the early 2000s, and it all began with 4 little words Mariah Carey once uttered to a German reporter: "I don't know her." Now, both stars have repeatedly been asked about about the comment and they can't seem to decide whether they like each other or not. When Andy Cohen brought up the feud on his show, Watch What Happens Live in 2014, Jennifer played the whole thing off, saying, "I don't have a feud against her at all. I know from back in the day I've read things that she said about me that were not the greatest, but we have never met. Like, we don't know each other." She added, "I would love to meet her and I would love to be friends with her." However, during a 2016 appearance on the Wendy Williams show, J-Lo had other thoughts. "Mariah does say that. She's forgetful, I guess," she slammed. "We've met many times." Now that same year, Mariah spoke to Andy Cohen about the feud and stood her ground, reiterating, "I don't know her, what am I supposed to say?" Then, following Mariah's disastrous New Year's Eve performance that December, Jennifer found an opportunity to throw shade. When an Instagram user posted about the train wreck show, writing, "Ever seen an accident you couldn't take your eyes away from? That was her tonight," J-Lo liked the post. Then, when Mariah published her memoir, The Meaning of Mariah Carey, in September 2020, she not only revealed the root of her feud with J-Lo, but she also made sure to throw shade at her. In the book, Mariah slams her ex-husband, Tommy Mottola, the then chairman and CEO of Sony Music Entertainment, accusing him of trying to ruin her career and getting Jennifer Lopez involved. And finally, we have her lying about products. In December 2020, Jennifer made headlines when she insisted that the secret to her flawless complexion is olive oil. The star spoke out ahead of the launch of her J.Lo Beauty skincare range. Speaking to Page 6 at the time, Jennifer said of olive oil, "It's a secret I've used all over the years because it really does work." She wanted to encourage people to also be vigilant with sunscreen, explaining, "One of the big things I would encourage everybody to do from the time they're 15 years old, even younger, is wear sunscreen every day." But an eagle-eyed fan may have spotted one more way that Jennifer maintains her super smooth and glowing skin in videos and photos: filters. TikTok user @NeatTheDeets exposed the trick when they uploaded a clip from one of Jennifer's social media posts from February 2023, which highlighted the moment an apparent filter glitched. "Wait for the filter to fall off to see J-Lo's real skin texture," they captioned the video. Now in the footage, Jennifer looks absolutely flawless as she talks about going to the gym, but sure enough, at one point she leans closer to the camera and her skin looks much more relatable. Jen quickly readjusts herself, making the glitch a blink and you'll miss it moment, but viewers still found the filter slip up hilarious. The way she jumps back when she realizes, one person commented. Another observed, "I love how the filter deactivated on telling. Filter literally snitched on cue." Now in fact, Jen looked so good that people shared their sadness that she even felt the need to alter her appearance online. And others argued that it isn't appropriate for Jen to digitally enhance her skin when she sells skincare products. Now regardless, if you're gonna use filters, just make sure they work properly. First up, almost no celebrities wanted to be in her movie. Now, in order for Jennifer to execute her musical film the way she envisioned the project, she had to front the budget herself. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, she revealed that she self-financed the movie, which cost $20 million in total to produce. J-Lo also had a very hard time booking celebrity cameos. In one scene, the casting director tells her, "We sent out all the offers last night to everybody, and we're waiting to hear back from a few people, like Jane Fonda." A voice off camera then says, "Taylor Swift is a no, Jason Momoa is not available, Jennifer Coolidge not available, Lizzo not available." J-Lo then says it'd be good to get Bad Bunny to do a little cameo as the bad kid, but of course that never ended up happening. It must have been a red flag that all these big names were turning down her project, but she didn't seem too bothered by it. She said, "I don't want to force anybody to do this who doesn't go, this is going to be fun. Nobody wants to say no to me, Benny, I get that, but when an actor doesn't like a script or doesn't think it's good enough or is worried about it, that's what they'll say. I know that, I've done it." That then brings us to our next point, that she was caught lying in her documentary. Now, the project sparked controversy and backlash on TikTok, all because of the way Jennifer was talking about her upbringing in the Bronx. Now, in the documentary, Jennifer says the greatest love story never told is about facing the truth of who you really are. But that clip completely backfired when it went viral, as fans started accusing her of misrepresenting herself. Now, they see her as performative and insincere and accused her of exaggerating her working class background, as well as her connection to the Bronx. One super clip that inspired many mocking imitations showed Jennifer tousle her hair while looking into a mirror, reminiscing about her childhood. She says, "I like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx running up and down the block. Crazy little girl who used to be wild and no limits, all dreams." But even though she loves speaking about the Bronx, it's a place she actively avoids. And the reason we know that comes down to an awful ad campaign. The central premise of the ad was that sometimes JLo will drive through her old hood in the South Bronx in a Fiat 500 just to stay inspired. Now, although it sounds ridiculous, the marketing campaign obviously tried to draw on the singer's famous Jenny from the Block era. Most people recognize the song in which she pays tribute to growing up in the Bronx, which has been a solid part of her image since the 90s. Now, in fact, she even titled her debut album On the 6, which is a clear reference to the New York subway train. A press release at the time stated that she'd be traveling through the streets of Manhattan to the Bronx where she grew up. But that ad backfired when it was reported that she never actually went to the Bronx to film the ad, and that a body double stand-in was used instead. Talk about faking it. Next, we have to talk about all the public fights. It's become pretty obvious that their marital bliss isn't quite as it seems, because there's now repeated incidents of Ben Affleck and Jennifer being caught arguing on camera. Now, the incident that occurred was shortly after Jennifer's Today interview, with the couple filmed having what looked like a tense argument at a fight for her new movie shot. In a clip that quickly went viral on TikTok, JLo appears to taste Ben's drink and then looks at him sternly. She seems visibly upset with her husband as he tries to defend himself and repeatedly says, "Jen." He could also be seen yelling over the music that he did not drink anything. Now, it was theorized at the time that Ben is insisting that he hasn't been drinking alcohol and that she was tasting his drink to check in the video. Now, Ben has been open about his recovery from alcoholism and has been to rehab multiple times over the years, like in 2001, 2017, and 2018. Now, that video has been viewed around 2 million times so far, but surprisingly, most people seem to think that Jennifer is being unsupportive of Ben's struggles. Someone wrote, "They just seem exhausting. This marriage will never see 18 months. Another person commented, "It just looks like she doesn't trust him, picked up the drink to taste it. He's clearly upset." And there seems to be a lot of truth to that. Now, let's talk about JLo's most embarrassing moment of all, when Ben slammed the car door in her face. Now, the couple went viral once again while running errands in Santa Monica. Video captured of that moment shows Ben looking upset while walking to his car. He then opens the car door for Jennifer so she can get in, but once she's inside, he pretty much slams it shut. Now, when that moment was shared on Twitter, everyone started guessing why he was so angry. Was it because they had gotten into an argument, or was it something else? One person wrote, "Maybe he's just irritated because someone is recording him. I imagine that would get very old." Another person wrote, "I'm sure he's just annoyed at people pointing their phones at them while they're trying to do normal stuff." Now, considering that JLo and Ben are one of the most recognizable people in the world, there's bound to be paparazzi following them around all day. Now, it's really no wonder that he feels frustrated, and maybe that's why he's been seen in such a dark mood recently. Moving on to the embarrassing feud with her makeup artist. Scott Barnes, who's worked for JLo for the past 20 years, has had to deal with so much of her crazy hot and cold behavior. In the mid-2000s, she essentially banished him after rumors surfaced that someone had leaked info to the press about her and Mark Anthony's secret marriage ceremony. Now, speaking on the Jeff Probst show in 2012, and when asked about how JLo treated him, Scott said, quote, "It was like I had the plague." Interestingly enough, eventually she ended up giving him his old job back again after learning the truth, but apparently failed to apologize for being so cold and ruthless towards him. I mean, she literally cut him off without a word and blamed him for the leak without even confronting him. Barnes went on to say, quote, "I went right back to work with her and we just never spoke about it again, which is even weirder." The funny thing is, her celebrity makeup artist would go on to work with her for another 6 years and insisted that they remain on good terms, despite the fact that she ghosted him and didn't even apologize. On to the feud with Shakira. J.Lo didn't hold back when it came to her opinion on sharing the stage with Shakira at the 2020 Super Bowl halftime show. In her released documentary called Halftime, she labeled it as the worst idea in the world. She said, "If it's gonna be a double headliner, they should have given us 20 minutes, that's what they should have effing done." Basically, it turns out that Jennifer was frustrated with the NFL for booking 2 headliners and making them share the same amount of time, as opposed to doubling it and giving the woman extra time to shine. Now, as a result, fans slammed the artist for coming off as entitled. While it's true that they only gave the performers 6 minutes each, the action-packed show garnered immense praise from fans across the globe, with many fans commending the woman for showcasing their Latin heritage so brilliantly. What J.Lo is really mad about, though, is that previous solo headliners like Beyonce and The Weeknd received 14 minutes to perform. But judging by her complaints, it's clear that she feels offended that they asked her to share the stage at all. Next up, we have the music theft. It's no secret that Jennifer Lopez has been accused of stealing or borrowing background tracks and vocals from other artists for years. One of the stars who accused her of doing this was Usher in 2005. He claimed that she stole a song that he cast aside while recording his hugely successful album called Confessions. Usher claimed that J.Lo's single Get Right is actually a re-recorded version of Ride, a song that he co-wrote the year before, which was only available online. He said, "I hate it, but I better get some of the publishing rights or else. I didn't put it on my album because I couldn't get it right, but I didn't expect J.Lo to just take it." And apart from being accused of stealing the same sample song that Mariah Carey used for Loverboy, J.Lo was also given songs that were initially intended for Ashanti, which is why a lot of people claim what happened between the two artists was straight up music theft. In September of 2021, J.Lo released I'm Real from her second studio album that she worked with Irv Gotti. But the song was already recorded and mixed with Ashanti's vocals, which is why you still hear her background vocals in Jennifer's version. Moving on to the cheating allegation. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have had an on-again, off-again romance that has been going on since the 2000s, with fans even nicknaming the couple Benifer. Now, I mean, these two just got married last year after they first got engaged nearly 2 decades ago. But the timeline of this relationship is a huge red flag and included alleged cheating. So in July of 2002, J.Lo filed for divorce from her second husband, Chris Judd, citing irreconcilable differences. But this news broke just months after J.Lo had wrapped the movie Gilgy alongside her then boyfriend, Ben. Now, even though she vehemently denied cheating rumors, Ben took out an ad in The Hollywood Reporter, gushing about Jennifer before her divorce wasn't yet finalized. In fact, even Chris Judd's father, Larry, spoke out against the couple and accusing J.Lo of being unfaithful to his son. He insinuated that the affair started during the filming of Gilgy. "I thought Mr. Affleck would honor a married woman and not just go right into the trailer," and added that she'd be happier if she'd tell the truth and that no one in her little circle is going to say one negative thing to her. But we'll never really know the truth of what happened. And lastly, we have that humiliating interview. The infamous movie line interview in 1998 that could have almost ruined J.Lo's career was truly worse than you can imagine. She was 27 at the time, fresh off the success of her film Selena. Now, she basically decided to trash all other celebrities that were big at the time and try to trivialize their career and contributions to the industry. In fact, when asked about Madonna, she actually said, "Do I think she's a great performer? Yeah. Do I think she's a great actress? No. Acting is what I do, so I'm harder on people when they say, oh, I can do that, I can act. I'm like, hey, don't spit on my craft." Now, it was so ironic because J.Lo would go on to do both music and acting for the rest of her career, and critics also trashed her acting on the big screen. Now, at the time, Madonna had been a star for longer than J.Lo, so there was really no comparison there. And when Gwyneth Paltrow was brought up, Jennifer almost seemed to laugh and made it clear that she didn't take her fellow actress's career seriously by saying, "Tell me what she's been in, I swear to God, I don't remember anything she was in. Some people get hot by association. I heard more about her and Brad Pitt than I ever heard about her work." Yikes.